Do 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 beep 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 do 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 do.
Welcome to the Biscuits and Blurays podcast, where we watch Blu-rays and the biscuit is recast with a younger actor. I'm your host, James, joined by a very annoyed co-host, Jade.
Grr. Hello.
We're back in Star Wars.
Hey.
We made it back to a galaxy far, far away. How does it feel to return?
Oh, it's only been that. How long has it been?
It's been 84 years.
It's been 84 years.
Because we
did the prequels.
We did the prequels, and then we were gonna just crack on, but other films got in the way.
Busted makes me feel good.
Yeah, well, yeah, and we did other films as well.
Like what?
Well, don't want to name it names, but we did some Halloween ones, the Hokey Pokey Coraline.
Oh yeah.
We've had
How come I feel like
we
watched the prequels so much like sooner?
No, we did not.
Oh, those films. They take up so much of your life.
Good job we're back because we're Han Solo in Solo Time. Happy Solo.
Oh, yeah, great.
Is this the first time you've ever seen this movie?
And it will be the last.
Oh, because you really liked it and you don't want it to be tainted.
It was such a waste of time. This was just not a needed movie at all. Why was this even made?
I think we can go into it a little bit.
But I'd say, was you excited when this was announced?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult because I love Star Wars so much, but the Star Wars market was oversaturated at this point. Mm-hmm. So Star Wars is back. Oh, welcome to the solo Star Wars story special. Yeah, so Star Wars came back, Force Awakens. The excitement was real.
Yeah.
And then they announced some little offset story
Little
ones.
offshoots.
Yeah. So we had Rogue One, and then it was another episodic adventure. So we had Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. The problem is the audience reception to those films got worse and worse.
Yes.
So Rogue One was good. People like it, but they thought, we had a Star Wars last year. It's not bringing anything new to the table.
Yeah.
Last Jedi people really didn't like.
No, I remember people not liking that.
And that was a problem because
you really
I really like that film. I'm not going to spoil that episode when we get to it, but I like The Last Jedi. And then like usually it was a Star Wars film a year, but we only had to wait a few months until we got Solo. At which point people were just sick of Star Wars.
Yeah, I remember being sick of Star Wars. So I was one of these people that was really excited for The Force Awakens. And I remember when Rogue One came out, I was at work and I was thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, there's another film. I can't be arsed with this. Mm-hmm. And it was one of my colleagues at the time was like, oh no, it's how they get the plans to just like for the Death Star. And I thought, oh, actually, that sounds quite interesting. Went to watch it and loved it.
Oh, yeah.
It completely blew my mind. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. So I was kind of already on the Star Wars train when all the Solo stuff was announced. And I remember thinking, oh, I can't be arsed. Because at the time as well, the lady from Game of Thrones...
Emilia Clarke.
Or the Game of Thrones stuff was really big at that time as well, and it was before I became a fan of Game of Thrones. Yeah, so at the time I thought I'd seen a lot of her as well.
Yeah.
So I was never that interested in watching it.
Okay.
And then obviously the reviews came out. They told me not to watch it.
The reviews were quite generous, and I think that they were kind to it because it had a troubled production, which we'll get to in a second. But I remember Force Awakens, the cinema was sold out. Couldn't move for people. Rogue One, pretty busy, but less so. Last Jedi, back to it again. But, that dipped in attendance as well. But for this one, basically no one turned up for the midnight showing when I was there. And I remember being like, okay, I'm excited, but I'm not fussed. The problem with it is, I think it falls into prequel territory. Why should we care?
I think that, but also I think a little bit maybe with this particular character. We've all seen The Force Awakens. We know what happens. Mm-hmm. Were we interested in seeing anyone else portray Han Solo? Was that story ended for a lot of people? Because I know for me it had. I didn't want to see no prequel.
it was closure for the character, Force Awakens.
So I wasn't interested about seeing all these bits and pieces unless he's doing his business with Luke and Leia. I'm not bothered.
I see what you mean. Yep, so we've got a new cast. We've got fresh blood in this, in terms of directors as well.
Yes.
So let me tell you a bit about the production. They hired Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Okay.
Those are the producers of Across the Spider-Verse.
All
and
right.
the directors of Cloudy with a Chance Meatballs.
So they have some bangers then.
Well, they cast the film and everyone was happy, and they put out a production photo of them, all of them in the Millennium Falcon cockpit, and everyone was like, yeah, okay, we're on board. And I think it had people's attention. However, it came down to shooting, and a lot of it was improvisational.
Oh, okay. That's your worst kind of direction, isn't it?
Not. I mean, usually yes, but I think Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they are very good at what they do, because I like every film they've ever put out ever,
including this.
We'll get there. So Alden Ehrenreich, who was cast as young Han Solo, had trouble with that style of acting, particularly in a character like this. When people were sending messages to and from Lucasfilm saying, "Oh, this is what's happening on the set of Solo. It's not what you wanted, Kathleen Kennedy," and those directors, Phil Lord, Chris Miller, were fired.
Okay.
They are still on as producers because they filmed quite a bit. Anyway, a new director comes on board, a Mr. Ronald Howard. It was very paint by numbers at that point. Heavy reshoots, big problems, and it just fell flat.
It's a very flat film.
Yeah. Say what you will about the sequel trilogy, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and the other one. They look good.
Yeah.
They pop off the screen, particularly Last Jedi.
You love Last Jedi.
I just think it's a very pretty film. That's all I'll say. But this one, it doesn't. It's
a very bland and boring colour palette.
You didn't know anything about the production efforts.
No, I didn't.
When you watched it, did you think, okay, something looks like it's reshot or it's done on the cheap?
I wouldn't necessarily said things were done on the cheap, because you can tell this is Star Wars. They know what they're doing with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I felt like a lot of the problem was in the writing. I thought that the whole story was very boring. I didn't feel like, again, you've got a cast as good as you have, and you don't do anything with them.
Yeah.
And they've got lazy, boring arcs. You can go on about the Kessel Run, which you absolutely adore. Other than that, what else does this story bring to it?
I see what you're getting at. There's a problem as well with, prequels, you need to know how a character's got certain things and, stuff like that. But this one is very paint by numbers.
Yeah.
And, my God, they're bad.
Yeah, and it's long as well, so it makes it even worse. You've got to watch a film that's boring. You want at least for it to be done quickly. This just went on, and I remember asking you really early on in this yesterday, is it nearly done? You were like, no.
We were only about half an hour into the film.
Oh, and I was ready. I was ready to go to sleep.
Would you have liked it if it was a TV show?
I was actually about to say, I think this should have gone more TV show. I feel like it might have worked a little bit better, but even then, would it have suffered again? With being a bit boring, but I suppose with TV shows you can have like a filler episode, for example.
Yeah, that's fair. A writer on this was Lawrence Kasdan. He has real power in Lucasfilm. Because Han Solo is essentially a character that he helped mould. Yes. He didn't like what was happening on set, and he was the one that was reporting back.
Okay.
Saying, that's not it, that's not how we did it back in 1970... whatever.
Got his own, very set in his ways, then I'm guessing.
Just an old curmudgeon, I'd imagine. I like that word, curmudgeon.
Curmudgeon.
Yeah. Just
Spell
like K. Mudge. Mudgeon. If it had stuck with its original director and committed to its style or whatever it was going to do, I'd have been all for it. At least it would have brought something new. Star Wars fans don't like anything new.
No, they don't.
Last Jedi. Just saying. It comes back again.
If the Star Wars fans don't like things that are new, then and this doesn't do anything new, why didn't people like it as much?
I think it's the character of Han Solo. An iconic character, one would argue. Harrison Ford. There's two characters that come to mind when someone says Harrison Ford.
You think of Han Solo and Indiana?
I was thinking of The Fugitive, but yes, Indiana Jones is good as well.
I don't ever think of The Fugitive.
Who was the character who played in What Lies Beneath? Bath Boy. I think
Yeah.
Bath Boy.
Air Force One.
And his cameo and then get off of my plane!
Oh, he's so cool.
Who did he play in Anchorman 2? He was in Anchorman 2.
Yeah, he was.
Great. Obviously too old. This whole project had Harrison Ford's blessing. Also, I don't think he gives a shit.
No, I think he's more or less done by that point.
I think he's done with Star Wars in general.
Yeah.
Have you seen him in interviews where people are like...
He's just like, I've had to deal with all this shit since like the 70s. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Oh, bless him.
Whereas I feel like Luke Hamill's complete opposite.
Who? Luke Hamill?
Luke Hamill. That's how I know him.
Luke Hamill.
To me, it's Luke Hamill.
You know it's Mark,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Luke, be a Jedi tonight.
Just be a Jedi.
I feel like he lives Star Wars.
Yeah.
He's a full like Star Wars lover. I feel like Harrison Ford's just a little bit cool now. It's a bit too cool for
I always thought it was too cool for it. I just think he did it for a job and it turned out to be one of the biggest movies of all time. So it's not his fault. But, you know, what a good guy. As recasts go, what do you think to Alden Ehrenreich?
After you said to me, I'll give him a bit longer to start seeing the Fordisms, you were right. I started to see some of that flash through. But I found him boring. He didn't have that sort of energy I wanted.
Okay.
Like, what else has he been in?
He was in Oppenheimer.
As what? I can't even remember him. That's because Cillian Murphy fucking stole it.
Well, whatever. But like Alden Ehrenreich, let's have a look. I think it was in Hail Caesar. Have you seen Hail Caesar?
No.
Okay. He was in Cocaine Bear, Blue Jasmine, Beautiful Creatures.
No.
Then he's in Nothing You've Seen. He was in Supernatural for a bit.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's a hard one. Maybe he's not quite leading man all by himself.
I like him. I don't know why. I don't think the material lends itself to putting out good work. He's in a tricky position where he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't.
Yeah, I get that.
Where if he was completely doing an imitation of Harrison Ford, everyone would be like, that's not acting, that's just an impression of Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
I think he is bringing his own stuff to it. You have to. But I don't think... You know, it's such an iconic character that you can't do that anyway.
Yeah, and again, I feel like when Harrison Ford is on screen, I feel like you watch him.
Yeah.
There's something about him. I don't know what it is. It's got that quality, but I just don't feel like I get it with him, and I don't know why, because I wanted to. But I liked him a lot better when Chewie was in the scene with him.
Chewbacca's around. That's good.
Yeah.
Chewbacca's too tall, and I think he's too pretty in this film.
He's very glossy, isn't he?
He's a glossy boy.
What shampoo is he using?
I want to
I must know.
I just want to do a quick shout out to the trailers. Because the marketing for this was not good. The art style was very 1970s disco-esque.
Yeah.
It was quite nice. Let's see if I've got it. Like that.
Yeah.
It sort of lent itself to a fun time. But... It was at that point, it was too little too late. And the trailers made it out like Chewie was going to die in a prequel.
Which is ridiculous, guys.
I don't understand how you dropped the ball that bad.
This whole film should not have been made. And I'll always be of that thought process.
Ron Howard, he is a director, a good director. I think he's cropped up on this podcast before.
I've got a feeling he has as well.
I think we spoke about him before, haven't we? Did we go, oh, Ron Howard, what a good guy.
Mr. Ron Howard.
We spoke about Ron Howard before. Let me just... The Grinch.
There we go.
He directed The Grinch movie. His biggest input for Star Wars was not birthing, but helping the birth of
This is
Bryce
what this film
Dallas.
was missing Jim Carrey.
No, Bryce Dallas. She directs some episodes of The Mandalorian. And really...
Right, well, this is my ideal version of casting for this film. Bring in Bryce Dallas and a little bit of Jim Carrey.
You want Jim Carrey in the Star Wars
as
universe?
Chewbacca.
Yeah, I see it. No. You're being silly now.
I'm being silly now, but this whole film is fucking silly. And I've had to waste all my time talking about it.
Not all your time, 2 hours, but...
I feel like I've had to waste my entire life.
I think it is a weak point for the franchise in general. The problem is, there's nothing exciting until much later in this film, at which point you're bored.
Yeah.
So it does well with like gangs, rival gangs happening, and trust no one because everyone will stab you in the back, sort of thing.
Yeah, to be honest, it lost me from the opening scene.
From the opening scene,
when the stupid writing came up and it just read like I don't know what it read like, but it didn't read like a Star Wars.
I think that's the thing. I think it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie. You could swap and change any of these characters out, and it'd just be a sci-fi. Think Firefly.
Yeah, I think that's how I felt, because when in the opening scene, I was kind of like, you almost felt like something you would see in one of the Fast and Furious films, but set in space.
Yeah.
Like, why is he on like this weird car heist? And then the way that the acting in that opening scene as well between him and Emilia Clarke was appalling.
I want to talk about Emilia Clarke because I have a theory about a circle of actors.
Yes.
I said it when we watched it, but I'm going to back it up with some arguments here.
Okay.
Any actor who is in Game of Thrones cannot act outside of Game of Thrones.
Lies.
I'm just...
Because there's a lot of actors in Game of Thrones.
Okay, well, let's name a few, and I'll tell you some bad acting they've done since. Kit Harington, I think he always looks like a wet lettuce of a man.
Oh, yeah. He's not good in though, is he?
Peter Dinklage was in Pixels. Like, we have a soft spot for Pixels, but he's not good in that movie.
Oh, he's good in Game of Thrones, though.
Well, yeah, exactly. They can act in Game of Thrones, but outside of that, they just... I think they're agents.
What about Richard, what's his name? Marsden.
Richard Madden?
Yeah, Madden, there we go.
You mean the guy from Crap Cinderella that I haven't watched?
Oh, he's beautiful.
No, he might be beautiful, but he's not very good.
Sophie Turner, yeah. Maisie Williams.
Yeah. Oh, Lena Headey.
Natalie Dormer, go suck yourself. She's beautiful. She is such a great actress. I will not take any bad words about
Okay,
Natalie
fine,
Dormer.
but I'm talking about the main, like, the Jon Snows, the...
Yeah, these are main characters. You tried to say shit. Jason Momoa, there we go.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Pedro Pascal.
You know my thoughts on him.
Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, well, they're really good, that's fair.
Lady whose name I don't know.
Oh, Gwendolyn Christie. She's in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Underused.
So there are good people in Game of Thrones.
I think the main ones, though.
But I agree. I think I've seen Emilia Clarke in other things, and she's all right.
Nope. She was in that last Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah.
She was in that Me Before You movie. I hate that movie so much.
Why?
I can't feel bad for anyone who owns a castle. I just can't. I think that's the working class in me. But if you own a castle and you're like, oh, you're a little bit sad, jog on. You have a castle.
That's not her character, is she?
I don't know. If she's doing that shit with her eyebrows, she looks like the one off the Cadbury's advert. Like,
oh yeah, I know what you mean.
She just irritates me. And here she's bringing zero charisma. She left her charisma at home for this.
But that's the thing, I suppose. When her character's at its best is when she's doing the more regal side. When she's not so. Anytime she's doing anything that isn't like Khaleesi, the character from Game of Thrones, is very overacted. So that's why that opening scene in particular is so poor.
Oh, I love you, hon. Are you going to come back for me, hon?
This way that they're both looking at each other and looking to the side and looking at each other. It's very GCSE.
Yes. But that could be poor direction, though. I don't know. But Ron Howard came on board way after, so it must be difficult to direct people who have already been directed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this whole thing should have been shelved.
I think it should have been shelved or taken straight to streaming, but obviously it was before that time.
Yes, yeah. There is a wonderful addition to the Star Wars actor group that I do appreciate. Woody Harrelson.
Oh.
I'm glad he's here.
Such a vibe.
I'm glad he's here, but he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he has nothing to do.
Nothing that we've not already seen him do. He's always this guy.
In every film he's in.
In Hunger Games, he's this guy. Like, don't trust anyone. You're gonna, he's there for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
And then in this, same again. Don't trust anyone, but I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Natural Born Killers, he's here for a good time, not a long time, but he trusts his other half.
Yeah, but no one else. He doesn't trust anyone. Find me someone who Woody Harrelson trusts.
That lady from Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, exactly. Juliette Lewis.
Yeah. But no, I was the same. I thought, you've got an actor like this, and you're not using him for anything. It was so boring.
I tell you what, though, I could listen to him exposition dump all day.
It's got like a way. It's got sass in the way he talks, which I'm here for.
What is his accent?
Sass.
Sass. Okay, great. You can't spell Harrelson without sass.
Is that true?
I don't know. I don't know how you spell Harrelson. Genuinely. Donald Glover. Young Lando Calrissian. Yes.
Yes.
I think that's perfect casting. I think he's the only one that's really playing up to that character. It's a bit caricature-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got it right. I suppose as well he doesn't really have as much on his shoulders like the leading actor does.
He has a lot of capes on his shoulders.
He has a lot of capes.
His wardrobe's
he is
pretty
a
good.
man of capes.
Yeah, he's a cape boy.
But he's great. And I loved every scene he was in.
And you can't have a Star Wars film without a really sassy droid. But you don't like this one. You don't like L3.
No, I don't like L3. The best part about this film was when L3 got fucked up.
Okay, so that's Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Do you have a problem with Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
No, but it felt very much like it was trying to make a point.
Okay, it went a bit woke. Would you? I'm using air quotes.
Yeah. So I understand in the Star Wars theme about how droids are treated, which is fair enough. But it's all her character that went on about.
Yeah.
All the way through it. Mm-hmm. Fair enough if you're going to bring that across, but then put it across at moments where it should feel really meaningful and it should hit you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just, I think the opening bit that she did where she was like, we can't even get served here. That worked maybe a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Then keep going on and on and on about it.
So you'd have liked it if it was more chipping away at her.
Yeah, so you could see it was kind of brimming under the surface.
Yeah.
I think that would have been interesting as a character.
Like, there's an instance where Lando and her are in the cockpit, and Lando's leaving, and he asks if you want anything, and she says, equal rights? Mm-hmm. I thought that was a good gag. Again, I think, like, you're too political.
You've gotten quite political now, and also, what Lando's already feels that way, anyway.
Yeah. Lando's on your side.
So, that sassy comment is a throwaway one, going nowhere, because he's already with you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That only makes more sense if you're in a room full of people who think the opposite.
I see what you mean. I think she was overplayed, I think.
Yeah, I think, again, that particular topic I think is important, and it should be in here. But you've got to play it better than that.
The villain of the piece is played by Paul Bettany.
Vision.
He's a Vision. I guess. He's worked with Ron Howard quite a few times, particularly on that Da Vinci Code movie.
Yes.
Did you like him in that?
I've not seen it.
You've not seen the Da Vinci Code?
No.
Oh my god. That was all the rage back in 2005.
I know, and that's probably why I avoided it. Because it was everywhere. And it was something my dad liked. So I remember thinking, this isn't cool.
I liked the Da Vinci Code a bit. I've got a bit of charm.
Wasn't like a Dead Man's Chest out around this time as well? I think I was all about pirates.
Oh, where your dad was like, what was Da Vinci up to?
Yeah.
What was his code?
What was the code? But I remember my dad reading it and telling me it was crap. And my dad's usually really good with books. He's always suggested which Stephen King books and stuff I should read.
Well, anyway.
He's always been right. But the Da Vinci Code, no.
Okay. But Bettany, all I'm saying is, the point I was making, Bettany's in this. He wasn't the original cast. I can't for the life of me find out who it was originally. But he came on with the Ron Howard stuff. And that was stuff that was already filmed. Did you like the villain?
Voss is in like the Voss water.
What is Voss water?
Voss water? That you can buy it, can't you, in Asda?
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
What, smart water?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe that's what he's connected to. His legacy. Mm-hmm. God. Again, he had nothing to do in this. Bar be menacing.
I think the problem is if the villains in Star Wars are always good, so you're up against it anyway. If all you're bringing is I'm just a bit of a crime lord, that ain't enough.
No, what have other villains been able to do?
Kill children,
Exactly.
famously. Yeah.
They've always been like really powerful with their lightsabery skills or their electricity skills.
Did you miss the lightsabers? Because there's no lightsabers in this.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I'll tell a lie. There's one lightsaber in this. We'll get to him.
Maybe that's why it feels like any old space movie because you don't have the lightsabers or any of that sort
No
of business.
Jedi, no Sith.
No talk of Jedis or Siths either, or the light side or the dark. Not that I can remember anyway.
No.
So that's why I suppose as well it didn't feel like one.
I see what you mean.
It's missing all the hallmarks of a Star Wars film. Because you get droids in loads of different movies. You get aliens in lots of different movies.
Mm-hmm. I'm right with you. I completely agree. It's a good cast, but the story is just a wee bit weak.
It's really weak.
It's pretty weak. I can't even remember how it begins.
We get that weird car chase that no one cares
that's
about.
it. Yeah, Han and Kira. Okay, let's talk about Han and Kira. That's Emilia Clarke and Han Solo. I know his name. I just can't pronounce it. right now. I think it's an insult to Han and Leia as a relationship.
Why?
Han and Leia are iconic. I love you, I know. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Gold. And Disney, in their infinite wisdom, decided to split those two up. I get it. They've had a kid, and that kid's turned out to be a bit of a little shit.
Yeah.
But that is a love that ascends. Han and Leia.
Mm-hmm.
They're beautiful together. However, why are you bringing in this common bitch?
That's just because you've got love for Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, absolutely I do. And this was post Carrie Fisher's passing as well.
Yeah.
Which I found even more insane. But I want to, like, a quick thing as well, a bit about Han and the Disney era.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to make those little dice that he has on his little dashboard, like, a thing. They were there in the original films, but they were never like, oh, look at my dice. Mm-hmm. Right? So Disney have decided to go, oh, you've got to get the dice in there, got to put the dice in. When Luke and Leia meet in Last Jedi, Luke gives those dice to Leia. It's like, they're yours now. Like, he's died, but he's still with you, sort of thing. Yeah. But Han's just giving those to any random woman just to get in her pants.
But to be honest, I think with Han, but he always comes across as being a character who's a bit of a ladies' man anyway. I feel like he's already had a bit of a life. He's been there. He's seen everything before he meets Leia anyway. So it makes sense him having a partner. But he seemed a bit of a simp for her, which I didn't like.
It's not even a simp for Leia.
Yeah, so I was expecting to see him a little bit more of a playboy, if anything. I was expecting him to have aliens in every bar.
Oh, yeah. But do you think he is like that because he is such a simp? And Kira has obviously got ulterior motives. But it's not like she breaks his heart or anything like that. He leaves her. And then but then he doesn't come back. He wants to come back. They have to get off this planet, Kira and Han. They're trying to make an escape. They get split up. And he's like, I'll come back for you. And then she goes off. We think she's gone. Yeah. I'll come back for you. And his motivation then is to go back to that planet and find Kira. Why she would stick on that planet, we don't know. Also, so much time passes.
Yeah, 3 years to be exact.
In that time, he joins the infantry.
Yeah.
And does a bit of Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yes. That goes as well as you expect. But he meets this band of misfits who are they're like criminals, but they're mercenaries at the same time. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know
how we met him. I don't know what he met him for. It was just random.
I think a quick thing as well. This is doing a very boring way of introducing how Han got stuff. Yes. So Han goes to the thing and is like, okay.
What thing?
Tries to get off the planet and tries to join the military, and he goes. The guy at the checkout goes, okay, I need your name. And he goes, Han. And he's like, okay, who are your people? I haven't got any people. Han looks at the camera. So low. Oh. Fuck off. Is that the best you could do? What? This is a world where names are quite extraordinary anyway. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Anakin, yeah. Skywalker, stuff like that. So Han Solo being his name, that would have made sense anyway. Why his name was just Han, and we've gone, okay, he's called Solo because he's by himself.
But because this also happened within the first 5 minutes after those really initial crap graphics we got at the beginning that read like a toddler wrote them. Yeah. The weird Too Fast, Too Furious car scene, poor acting. Then we get that all in the space of like 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. I was ready. I was like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, you were done at that point, weren't you? There was no game. I think this was an uphill battle for this film, for you personally.
Well, when you open the film like that and the first 10 minutes are so poor, knowing I've got another 2 hours of that, what even is my life?
Do you think that is a product of its old directors?
I couldn't tell you.
If it was a bit more tongue-in-cheek, if it was a bit more fun, because there are lines in this where you think that's the original directors. It's got to be. Would you have appreciated it more?
I don't know. I don't think it was ever going to sit right with me. I think that's probably the problem this film's going to have as well. I don't think it should have been made. So I'm already going in thinking, can't be arsed with this.
What's that on the floor?
Oh, I've looked again.
Oh my god, it's the stakes. Who put the stakes down there? Why are they so low?
So low.
So low. That joke works on 2 levels now.
Oh, it does.
Ugh. Yeah, I think as well, we know Han is going to be okay, and Chewie, and these new characters coming in,
Probably not going to be okay.
but they're not making an impression enough for us to care if they're okay. I think the aim for this one was to get a sequel anyway. I don't think it was ever going to, because no one went to see it, but I think that was maybe a plan for a solo trilogy.
Yeah, I think that's where they were going, especially with the end with the Darth Maul stuff.
Whoa, just say it. Whoa, okay. Darth Maul rocks up at the end, and you said you missed the lightsabers. But it's okay, because he ignites his lightsaber to prove it's still a Star Wars movie. It's okay. He's got 2-sided lightsaber and 0 legs. Because he's half the man he used to be.
And all the voice.
Okay. This is the problem I have with Star Wars anyway. We've said it before, we'll say it again. You shouldn't have to do your homework to watch the cinematic ones.
Yeah.
I know what happened to Darth Maul, only because I cared enough to read about it. But I never watched the Clone Wars or anything like that. I don't care about them. I'm too old for them now. Say you rock up, you've never seen a Star Wars movie, and you go 1, 2, 3 solo onwards. Mm-hmm. What in your head would go, oh yeah, Darth Maul's still alive?
I'd be like, what? What's going on with this shit?
Yeah. You can survive being cut in half, can you?
Is that what it is? Is survive being cut in half?
It was cut in half, but Obi-Wan Kenobi cut him in half.
I could not have told you when this film...
Phantom Menace. That big fight scene at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Qui-Gon's...
No, I understand all that. I mean, I could not have told you when this film was set.
This is why we watched it in this order. It's 1, 2, 3, and then it's this, because these are the adventures of young Han Solo. Young Han Not much younger Han Solo.
Even though he looks like he's 40 with 2 kids and his...
No, he doesn't. I think he looks young. I don't think he looks as young as Han Solo did, but it's fine.
Either way, this is shit. And why is he back then? Why is this dude back?
Darth Maul, when he fell into that pit, he grabbed onto something and went into a vent. Or something, and then someone found him and gave him robot legs.
But it was in half.
Yeah, he was...
How do you survive that?
I don't fucking know.
You don't survive that.
You don't survive that, and that's right. I think...
What the actual fuck?
It's the fucking Clone Wars. I love Star Wars, but it's fucking stupid. I appreciate it's for kids. All of this is for children, by the way. Mm-hmm. Star Wars should never be taken too seriously, and those that do, clowns. But you can't survive that.
No,
and
you can't.
bringing that in to the Star Wars canon, that Darth Maul can survive being cut in half, has opened up the floodgates for all these characters that we think are dead that can just keep coming back.
For no reason.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then why can't Han Solo come back?
He did. He came back as a ghost. He came back as an apparition to Kylo, didn't he?
I'm going to need me some Spengler action.
Busting makes you feel good.
It does. Get rid of them. Trap them.
And also, we'll get to it with Rise of Skywalker, but Han Solo doesn't have the Force, so I appreciate that may all be in Kylo Ren's head. But if Han Solo is a Force ghost, nah, because he's never had the Force. Mm-hmm. The inconsistencies.
He's a Derek Cora.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, he can survive being cut in half. Did you appreciate him rocking up though?
No, because he shouldn't be there.
And I thought that was going to be the coolest. I thought that was going to save it for you.
And also, why is he talking?
He talks in the cartoon. Kenobi. That's him. Anytime I do that, Kenobi.
The reason he is so cool in The Phantom Menace is because he does not say anything.
Yes, he does. At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi.
But like that, if that's it, and he's quite quiet, he's like an Ivan Drago from Rocky. He's all presence.
Okay.
So that, and again, he's got such a cool look, but he dies. Mm-hmm. Leave it there.
Less is more.
Let him be the amazing enigma that he is.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but no, you've got to bring him back. Got to have a lightsaber in there somewhere.
We've got to sell toys, guys.
You've got to sell toys. That's all it is at the end of the day. No one bought any of this merchandise.
Well, it's a bit like Disney's Wish then.
Is that a sick burn? Is that a relevant burn?
Still in the bargain bin. This has a straight to bargain bin, merchandise wise. That's always been the thing as well with Star Wars. A lot of it has been about making money off that merchandise.
Bank. Yeah, that's where they make the most money. Mm-hmm. Merch. There's nothing cool in this film. There's not.
I thought there was.
Well, I'm gonna. Apart from the Kessel Run, you said to me, "What's the deal? What's the deal with the Kessel Run? Why do we care?" And I was like, "We care very much, thank you." Because the Millennium Falcon, the fastest ship in the galaxy, on the record, it's a really good ship. Do you like its redesign?
Yeah.
You didn't notice, did you?
No.
It's got a pointier edge for the escape pod.
All you're thinking about is how much you hope you get one for a wedding present.
I'm just saying, I want the Lego Millennium Falcon, and if I say it more, it'll happen.
What happens if we get 4 on our, if we get 4 delivered
Then
at
I
our
make
reception?
Then I make 4 of them. I see no problem here.
No.
What's the issue?
They can make all versions of it. Pointy-edged one.
I see what you're getting at, and I appreciate that is the point of Lego. However, I am very much by the book when it comes to Lego.
Okay.
I'm following every step to the letter.
So you wouldn't want this one then?
No.
Tell the guests, not this one.
Not the solo one, and anyone who gets the solo one is uninvited to the wedding. But I like it. I quite like its redesign, genuinely. It feels clean, though. Star Wars should never feel clean. I think that's
it's always a bit dusty into Star Wars.
I think it's a problem that the prequels have as well. They're a bit chic. They're a bit neon.
I think they're a bit neon, but I don't think that they're very chic. I think Rey especially looks like she's been through something.
No, I was talking about the prequels. The sequels have managed to capture the grittiness of the 70s Star Wars.
Oh yeah, but I suppose as well, a lot of the prequels, it happens in cities and stuff like that. So we're seeing Padme's world, which is political. It's going to be a lot nicer, isn't it? Because it's
I guess
they're upper class, I suppose.
But the Falcon is a wonderful ship. Obviously, the whole point, the big climax, well, it's not, because it's not even the end of the film. Mm-hmm. The big thing about this is that they do the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. No, I don't know what a parsec is.
Okay.
You asked me that halfway through it, and I was like, you should know, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a big deal. Did you not find any excitement in the Kessel Run?
Well, again, it's hard to when I already know that they're going to be okay.
Yeah, and you can tell them, but it's seeing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's fine if you're going to make it really, really cool. A film I'm going to think of right now that I think this film should have been like, and you haven't seen this film, so you can't disapprove, is Baby Driver.
Okay.
I think if it had gone a bit more Baby Driver with the Falcons and TIE Fighters and stuff like that.
I know what you mean though, because I've seen it. I've seen clips of it and stuff. I know the kind of vibe it went for.
Yeah, even I hate to say it, Last Jedi. when it did.
No, you don't hate to say
I
it.
I love the Last Jedi. You know the bit at the start where Poe does the skid with an X-wing.
Yeah.
That's cool. This doesn't do anything. It's just we've got to go really fast. And
we've just got to jump to hyperspace as quickly as we can.
Yeah, that's a problem. By default, the Kessel Run is the most entertaining part of this film.
Yeah, there's no other entertaining part of this film other than that bit. And again, all the kind of, this fuel's really flammable, what we're going to do about it. Again, we know that you do it because we hear about it in the rest of the Star Wars films. Mm-hmm. So we know what's really coming.
Yeah, we know you're going to do it, we know how long it's going to take, and we know that all of you are going to survive. So you two are going to survive.
So it doesn't really build that excitement up as much because you're not thinking, will they, won't they? Mm-hmm. You already know that they will. I
really like some of the imagery in the Kessel Run, though. Mm-hmm. The bit when the Star Destroyer is coming at them, and it looks like a shark.
Yeah.
You don't see it, and then there's a bit of lightning behind it, and you're like, oh, that's the Star Destroyer. That's really cool.
It's what?
It's really cool. And the bit where they're fighting that big monster. When it goes red in the cockpit.
Red Nemesis attack them.
Well, Nemesis, yeah. This is not sponsored by Alton Towers.
But it should be.
It should be.
Because they're monsters in this.
If you're listening in America, Alton Towers is our Universal Studios, right? That makes sense. I have a good time with the Kessel Run. They're overcoming obstacles, and then they get a new one. And it feels like it's one step forward, 2 steps back. But they're managing, they're coping.
Yeah, especially because again we're getting to see a bit of Chewie and Han in the cockpit doing their thing, and that's where they're the best, I think.
I think that's where the film is at its best, is when it's those two. It's just those two.
No other character, even though my boy Lando's really cool. That's it.
Yeah, I can't disapprove of that.
As again, I'd say Woody Harrelson, but again, he's just got nothing to do that adds anything in it, because other than putting the stuff into the cargo hold, mm-hmm. he doesn't really do anything else on the ship other than like, he's shooting with a gun, isn't he?
Yeah.
But it's not that exciting.
When I said there's points of this that feel like the original director's work, you know the bit where Woody Harrelson's doing the shooting and his gun breaks and he's like, I've killed it, like the gun's been broken and I hurt my thumbs. Mm-hmm. That feels like a them joke.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, commit and do it throughout. Mm-hmm. But don't just put it in for a cheap laugh. They get this coaxium, that's the thing. Also, I really love how the Falcon takes damage, like throughout this, and it's just battered and bruised.
Yeah.
And now it's a hunk of garbage, even though it's a pretty decent ship still.
Yeah, so maybe that's why Lando's not so sad to let it go towards the end.
Maybe. It's a good ship, though. It's just done the Kessel run in 12 parsecs. That's a big deal.
Cool.
Let's talk about Casino Royale.
Yes.
That is a film that came out. It's a Bond film.
Wasn't it around this time as well?
No.
I'm thinking it's more around like the Da Vinci Code time, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was, yeah. Casino Royale is a great film. Mm-hmm. But I remember seeing that film, not knowing how to play poker and being bored. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Dead Man's Chest. There's a bit in Dead Man's Chest where they play a dice game. And I remember not knowing the rules of that dice game, and I remember being bored.
Yeah.
What happens in this one?
They play Snap. I have not got a clue. All I know is that they're little cards are shaped like little coffins.
Yeah.
Some are blue, some are like yellow. They've got some sort of weird looking shit or like lines on them. Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell you what they were doing.
Yeah.
Or how you win.
Mm-hmm.
It's never explained.
No.
Oh, these are serious gamblers. These are.
Oh, great. Yeah.
All right.
Someone left the stakes on the floor. The stakes are down there.
I would, honestly, if that were me, I would just get to that table with my, like, Ace of Spades and be like, snap! And just take all the shit and run.
But it's boring. When I worked at the cinema, they gave out those cards. Like, people gave a shit. It was like, oh, you've seen Solo, who are those cards? And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Is it like a full pack of them?
No, like those cards, that's what the shape they were, but they were all characters on them and stuff. And everyone I tried to give one out to, everyone was like, this is a bit of time, I'm going to throw in the bin on the way out.
Yeah.
So, what a waste of time.
Oh, I bet you hated that, didn't you?
Well, no, because I like Star Wars. I was like, oh, that's really cool, I guess. I'd already seen the film. I'd be like, I know their disappointment.
I feel it too.
Yeah, exactly. I feel it also.
Did you take some home?
I think I took maybe like 5 home. I could never complete the set. I think I was looking for the Chewy one. I never got it.
Aw, guys, anyone out there?
Has anyone got the Chewy card thing that the cinema gave out when Solo came out? If so, please send it to me. Thank you.
James will pay big money.
Pay 0 money. I just want that to complete the set that I no longer have.
Guys, if anyone has any of them,
send me your cards. There's a bit where Dryden Voss has a fight scene. I don't like the bit where Emilia Clarke clearly does the pose.
Yeah.
Like, that's for the trailer. Keep that in the trailer, not put it in the film.
She was crap, sorry.
Oh, L3 dies, that's the thing.
I did say I was like, yeah. She then becomes a part of the ship.
It's implied that Lando is having sex with the robot.
No, it doesn't. No, she doesn't. She says you could do. I think she's had sex with humans before.
Yeah, but she said it would. Like,
it'll work. Yeah. But she was like, no. I don't know. I didn't get that vibe.
Yeah. Does that mean 3PO?
You're a sick man.
Does that mean 3PO fucks?
Oh, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
With his arms flailing around and his robot.
He doesn't know how to walk in a straight line.
And his red arm for no reason. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking stupid. I've got issues with...
R2-D2's getting way more sex than he is.
R2-D2 is getting laid every night. Thank you very much. I'm just saying. Dryden Voss turns out is a villain. Well, we knew that. Mm-hmm. He dies. That's great. And then Woody Harrelson is like, I'm also a villain. I told you not to trust anyone. That feels like it's out of a different film.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Oh, I've got the makings of a great crew. Oh, no, I'm just going to fuck you over.
Yeah.
His other half dies earlier on. He don't really seem to care.
I thought maybe we didn't even talk about that.
She's like, I met this man, and he's the love of my life.
Yeah.
She dies. It's sad for all of, like, a day, and that's it.
What a waste of Tandy Newton. Mm-hmm. She's quite a good actress. Too bad.
She knew she needed to be out of this quickly. She was like, guys, can you write my character out after, like, 10 minutes, please?
Yeah, because I've had 2 directors and I've had 0 lunch. Like, calm down. Yeah, Woody Harrelson then dies. Great. Hans shoots first. That's funny. fuck, this film's boring, isn't it?
It is. And also, I'd like to also point out, what the fuck were they doing with costume in this?
Did you not appreciate?
I appreciated all the costumes, bar Amelia Clark's.
Okay.
We've seen Padme.
We have.
We've seen Leia.
We have!
These are two very iconic ladies in Star Wars.
In terms of fashion, absolutely.
Of course. And even at the party that we see...
Party.
Where they...
Oh,
Where they meet Vision.
Yeah.
For the first... I'm calling Vision now. For the first time, there are ladies there with some pretty cool hair, some pretty cool costumes.
Mm-hmm.
There is... Star Wars to me will always be space hair.
Okay.
No, Amelia Clark has like a ponytail.
That's a problem for you, isn't it?
She looks like she's just stepped out of my office. I feel like I could work with her tomorrow. Dressed in those costumes and she'll be fine.
Okay.
Except for the one cape she puts on.
She puts a cape on.
Everything else she wears, you would see someone out and about in, like just at the office.
I do think that's a problem for everyone else, though. I don't think it's her. Han's costume is basically just a shirt and a jacket.
It's very 70s-esque, though, that jacket is.
I quite like that jacket, yeah. Lando's is like a yellow shirt.
Again, very 70s,
and
though.
flares, yeah.
So at least they match, but I just don't feel like they did enough with her character. She honestly, she looks like one of the Sugar Babes at one point. And she's like in a pencil dress with her hair like bouffant, but again in a pony, like a high pony. It's like, mate, come on. So all the imagination we get in the prequels, and then obviously the later films, and then even like with the Force Awakens and stuff, with how they style Rey.
Mm-hmm.
This just feels so lazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like the same universe as well. I think that's also why it's pulling me out, because I feel like the Star Wars women especially have such a great look. Not in this.
Is it better than Space Jam?
No.
Okay. Is it your least favourite Star Wars film?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
More so than Attack of the Clones? You didn't like Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, but there's good parts of Attack of the Clones.
Rise of Skywalker's absolute ass as well.
But there's bits I can like in those films. This one, there wasn't a great deal for me to like. Sorry.
For me, it doesn't sit anywhere close to the bottom.
That's because you love other films more.
It's because I dislike other films more. It will always be Rise of Skywalker at the bottom, then Attack of the Clones, and then this.
I didn't hate Rise of Skywalker as much as you did.
Well,
meaty conversation about that.
There's a rant coming in that episode, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I don't think it's too safe, I think is the problem. We know everyone's okay. The stakes are low. It's if we're going to spend time with these characters, at least do something interesting, but they never do. And when it is interesting, it's way too late. Everyone's bored anyway. But the Kessel Run is good. I do like the Kessel Run. I think the Kessel Run's very good. But it's a waste of time, effort, and money. Yeah,
I'd say to anybody looking to kind of watch all the Star Wars from kind of start to finish, maybe just watch that one scene on YouTube of the Kessel Run.
Would you skip it?
Yeah, I'd skip this.
Okay. That's interesting.
I would watch the Kessel Run. I'd give that a quick view on YouTube, no more than 20 minutes of my time. Boom, done.
Yeah.
I could watch that while I'm ironing. Mm-hmm. Great.
Do you do the ironing in 12 parsecs?
Oh, well, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it just falls flat. I enjoyed it when we watched it last night. I enjoyed it more than the first time I was watching it.
That's because you got me there hating it and you was reacting to me.
But I was trying to pick out things because I wanted you to find something to like, and it gave you nothing. I'm so sorry.
You look sorry.
I'm not that sorry.
Yeah, I can tell.
But from here on in, it's all gold, and then Rise of Skywalker. And there's no bad movies now, Star Wars wise, apart from Rise of Skywalker. But we've got a good run ahead of us, is what I'm saying. Yeah,
Rogue One I'm so excited for because I love that film.
Me too.
I really like Rogue One.
I have a lot of time for it. That's the next episode, by the way. This isn't better than Space Jam. Confirmed?
Yes. How about you?
I do like that Kessel Run, but it can't save it, can it?
No. What? 20 minutes of film can save the rest, like 2 hours worth of shit.
Then no, it's not better than Space Jam. It was voted better than Space Jam, but it didn't turn out that way.
Not here. It didn't.
Not here, no, but it got there. A quick shout out to a few people who let me know their thoughts on Solo. Sam, Sergeant Sadboy, said, "I did not enjoy this film. It had so much potential, but it unfortunately didn't hit the mark." Would you agree with that?
I'm in complete agreement, Sam.
Moogalamachuk, great name.
That's pretty cool.
Said it was better than expected.
Okay, I'd be interested to know exactly what they thought was better. Did it get Paul press beforehand, or...?
It was a Harrison Ford prequel movie without Harrison Ford. Indiana Jones only just got away with it because it had River Phoenix for 5 minutes.
Yes.
But they knew they should put Harrison Ford in for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
This, I think, is a problem. Everyone gives their best shot. I completely believe that. I don't think anyone's out to make a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
However, it didn't work in its favour.
It did not, and this is a film I never want to see again, but because it exists in our fucking collection, you're going to crank this out every now and again, just because you hate me.
If you're on a Star Wars rewatch, you might as well chuck it in.
Well, next time we watch this, don't expect me to be all together present.
Well, next time we watch this, you might...
was not attending the conversation.
You were already tired anyway. If you watched it, if you had a good night's sleep and you put Solo straight on, good time for you.
But no, you decided to do it on my month end when I'm really fucking busy and I'm knackered, and you're like, we gotta watch Solo. I even said to him last night, "Do you hate me?"
I don't think anyone knows what a month end is.
Anyone in finance will know what a month end is.
Okay,
we all suffer the same.
I don't think anyone in finance is listening to this podcast.
Oh, come on, finance guys!
Whoop whoop whoop! That was Solo. Rogue One next week. Good movies now. Good movies. We'll get to that one. But thanks for listening to Solo. Thank you for watching it.
Next time you're watching it, ride in Solo.
Is that a bloody joke?
Not a good
That's
one.
a funny bloody
Not
joke.
a good one, but you got one anyway.
Okay. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
Bye.